Hi all, so welcome to the today's tutorial. So in our previous tutorial we have created two components. One was the gun component and another one was the torch component. But we were attaching it through the blueprint. So in here we will create two spawners, one for the torch and one for the gun. So we will place it in the scene. So player can find it as soon as we will overlap it, and if it will overlap gun, it will spawn this component and attach it to the player. If it is spawn over torch, it will spawn this torch and attach it to the player. So this is our main idea. So we know, like, for the spawner, like the spawner will contain one sphere component. As soon as the character will overlap it, it will attach that the separate component, and we need to have this separate you know uh, separate spawner for gun and torch. So the functionality is kind of similar. So what we will do, we will create one parent class. It will be an actor. It will have this sphere component and one static mesh for the visual mesh. We will create two child class, one for the gun and one for the torch, because the attachment will be different for the gun and attachment for the torch will be different. So this is our main idea. I think you have understand it. If you do want to try, I will encourage you to do that, and we will see how we can do that. Okay, so let us begin. First thing what we will do, we will create right click and we will create one directory called actors, and inside actor I will create one more directory called spawners, and here I will create Unreal class of actor. We will name it as m spawner base. So here, let me remove this. I don't want tick function, so we'll remove that. We'll do the same here. We'll remove the tick function because we don't need tick. We'll remove these comments also. Perfect. So here in spawner class, first we need to have some components, right? So we will do that. First, I need to have one root component. You property, edit anywhere, and you scene component and custom root. This will act as a root. Next thing which we do want is to have the static mesh component, and it will be there just for the visuals, because let's imagine if we want to create the spawner for the gun, then that static mesh component will contain the gun, and if it is for the torch, then it will have the torch. So you property, edit anywhere, you static mesh component, pointer, smc underscore model or visual mesh. Okay. Next thing is the use sphere component. So you property, edit anywhere, you sphere component, hash include, pointer, sc underscore sphere component, or the spawner area, we can say spawner area. Next thing is the static mesh, the actual static mesh. So the difference between the static mesh component and the static mesh component is just, it will give all the options, okay, with the position, the rotation, the visuals, how it will look, and the actual mesh will be under the static mesh. So we will create the two. You property, edit anywhere, you static mesh, and as we have covered it in the previous tutorial, we will have this view, sorry, t soft object pointer of type u static mesh, sm underscore visual mesh. Okay, smc visual mesh. Okay, ठीक है, perfect. Okay, this is nice. And next is, I think this is good. Okay, Okay, and here I want to have an owner also, because like when I will like imagine if the character is overlapping this component, I will set that as a owner. So what I will do, a character owner character, and it is always a good idea to initialize a pointer. So null pointer owner character. This is perfect. Okay, next thing is we will initialize this component inside CPP. So sm underscore, sorry, first we will initialize the custom root equals to create default sub object of type used in component custom root, and we will replace the existing root with the custom root. Next, in the SMC visual mesh, so create default sub object u static mesh component. We will keep everything same, SMC underscore visual mesh, SMC visual create setup attachment, and we will attach it to the root component or the custom root, as both are same. Next is the sphere component. So sc underscore spawn area is equals to create default object u sphere component text sc underscore spawner area sc underscore spawn area setup attachment, and we will again do attach it to the custom root. By default the radius of the spawner area is 32, but I do want to increase it to the 100. So radius set sphere radius, and it will be 100. Perfect. I think this is great. Now next thing is like for this spawner area, we want as soon as we will overlap this component, then we do want to have something, right? So this component dot on component begin overlap, add dynamics, this command here we need to have the address of the function, and we will write on spawner area overlap begin. Alt enter, create member. Okay, this is perfect. Again alt enter, generate definition. So we have everything is in place. Now when we will overlap it, right? So we do want to check if the overlap actor, if the other actor, this is a actor or not. So we will check. So if uh, it's a type of cast, we will check. So if cast is equals to a character other person, sorry, other actor, then we will save it to the owner character. Okay, we have included the header file. Okay, next is like as soon as if it is true, then we know, okay, now the owner character is having some value, right? Next thing is like we, as soon as I am overlapping the component, right? So we want to do the attachment code. Now this spawner class which we have created, this is the parent one. the main logic where the attachment will be residing, it will be in the child class. So what I will do, I will create two more functions. uh, so virtual void attach mm, attach component custom component, and I will alt enter generate definition. So I do want to have something here. So I have also declared this function as virtual. So I am saying I can override this function in the child class. This is what virtual keywords do here. Okay. So what I will do, I will call the attach custom component. So let's imagine if child class will run, I will also mark this function on spawner area overlap begin, this function as virtual. You'll understand in a minute. So what it will do, as soon as the spawn thing will happen, it will call this function inside the child class. Child class will call this function of the parent class, then it will run its own function. This is what it will do. And here what I will do, I will destroy the actor. Destroy the actor. Okay, this seems perfect. Now what I will do, I will create the spawner for torch and okay. So add Unreal class, all class. Let me see if spawner base is available. Yes, it is. So m gun spawner. Okay. So our parent is a m spawner base. Next thing again I will do class all check m spawner base, and here will limit as m torch spawner. Okay, this is perfect. So what I will do, first for both of them, for torch, I will override the function which I did create, virtual void attach custom component override, alt enter generate definition. So as soon as I'm putting this override keyword, I am telling the compiler, okay, this function is already defined in the parent class, so I'm overriding it. And this super, what it is saying, like if I will comment this thing out, it will when this function will be called, it won't call the its parent attach custom function. So if I will do it like this, super colon colon this function name, it will go and call this function. So if you want to have some if you want your child class to execute some function common in all the child functionalities, you can do it here. And here you can write your attachment logic. Okay, I think I am clear here. We'll do the same thing in the gun spawner. Again here we'll override my function virtual void attach custom component, alt enter generate definition. Perfect. So first thing what we'll do, I will do the attachment for the torch. So in the torch CPP here I will do the attachment. So first the thing is, this is the actor, right? And we will destroy this actor as soon as the overlap will happen, right? After, like, if you can see here in the m spawner base, what we are doing, as soon as the overlap will happen, it will call this function attach custom component. This will call the attach custom component of the child. Let's imagine in this case we have the torch. It will call this function here. After we are done with this attachment component, it will destroy the spawner. In our case, it will destroy the torch or the gun, right? So we are not doing anything yet, anything with a component. So what we will do, we will create a new component here. So UMKC, this is the torch, right? So UMSLC torch. So this which we have created in the previous tutorial. So it will be a type of pointer SMC torch is equals to new object, and it will be a type of UMSLC torch. And here we need to pass where you do want to attach it, and like who will be the owner. In our case, the owner will be the owner character. Okay. Okay, and it is saying that we cannot convert a character pointer to the U object. Sometimes it gives us this error which it shouldn't. So what we can do, we can actually cast it to the U object, because we know like the character is a child of U object, so we can always cast it to the parent. So it should work. Next thing is like we have to set up the attachment. We know like the torch, this torch we have to attach it to our okay, one thing actually which we have to change, actually in our case what we are doing here, we are using the generic a character, but in our case we have to use our main character, which is m character base. So let me update that. So a m character base include alt enter. So I will cast it to the am character base. Okay, perfect. Now we can go here. Now I can move this on a character. Okay. Now second thing in here, we created the skeleton mesh component, right? SKC body. This SKC, the skeleton mesh component, this one SKC body, we have to do the attachment here. So I will create one public function. So void so you skeleton mesh component, right? It's a function which will write this component get body, and it will return the skc body, and it will be an inline function. So force inline function. So what we are doing here, because in our case we are not using the Unreal's body. If you see here, this is the main mesh which Unreal provide in the character class, but we are not using it. We have created the SKC body, if you remember in our previous tutorial. So for that we are creating one custom function called get body. Make it const. Okay, perfect. Now in the torch, when we will do the attachment, so set up attachment, so on character dot get body. Next thing is the relative location, because I do want to attach it, attach the torch to it have some height and just in 100 unit in front of me. So set relative location f vector. We know like front value is x-axis, so 100 unit in front of us, y is 0, and for z I do want to have 60 unit above. Next is the SMC torch intensity, because I do want my torch to be very bright, so I'm setting it to the 10,000. Next is I'm registering the component. Register component, it will spawn it in the scene. So this is the same code. So let's imagine if you are creating some custom component or existing component which you want to spawn it into the scene. This is the way to create it. You can use the new object method. It will give you the pointer and you have to register that pointer. That's it. and it will do the task. Now we have to do the same drill inside the gun spawner. So I will just copy paste it and we'll do this. Instead of USMLC torch, we will use the UMK SKC gun, and we will use the SKC underscore gun. Everything will remain the same as it just we have to do the attachment to some grip point, because if I know in Unreal, if you will see, we have the grip point. Grip point is already given in the first person shooter, in first person template, so we will use that. So to use that, what we can do here, I will I just have to put the socket name, that's it. F name text and it's grip point. Okay, and we'll remove this, and I don't want to attach the location 2 because it will snap it to the grip point, and it should work like charm. Okay, perfect. So if you look carefully, we are done actually with the code. So as soon as I will overlap the component, it should work. But there is just one issue with the existing code. Can you guess it? Okay, let me show you. If we will put this spawner in the scene right now, nothing will be visible. You can't see a thing. So let me show you in a minute. Okay, for AM spawner base, it is saying that we don't have the default constructor available. So let's do that. AM spawner base. Let me move this. Actually, we do have it. Let me close Unreal, compile, Control B. Okay, one thing I can see, we can just do it like this, or actually by default it should work it like this too, if I'm not wrong. So Control B. Okay, next thing is the conditions. Okay, we will just check if it is overlapping character. If it is, then we will save the owner character with the overlapping character. Lapping character. Control B. Perfect. Now it is fine. Okay, one of the things in the meantime, like it is compiling the code, what you can see that we have one visual mesh, right? We have created the use static mesh component, but we never assigned a static mesh to this component. For the torch it will be different, for the gun it will be different. So in that case we have to do it, right? So can you guess like where will be the best place to put the mesh here? So in idle case, actually let me open my map, my default map. Let me set that default map in the project setting so we don't have to do it again and again. Edit start. Perfect. So here if I will spawn something, right? If I will in the C++ zombie we have actors, spawners, and we have here like we have gun spawner and the torch spawner. If we will do it like this, right, you can see nothing is there. Like here if you will you can see in the details we have SMC, but we don't have any static mesh here. What do we want here? For the torch we want a torch to be here or something, anything, but we don't have it. I think we haven't added our mesh yet. In the content, zombie asset, static meshes. Okay, first let me add the static mesh. You will have this in the description, so make sure that uh, you are including that. So this is the torch, import all. Okay, my bad, delete it. Torch, again drag drop it. Make sure that we have an option called combine mesh. Check and import all. Okay, okay, perfect. Okay, first we have to fix this, maybe in the next tutorial, because it is already 26 minutes. So let me check. Let me play this game. I can't see a thing. Roughly I can see anything. I'm moving my character here and there. Okay, just for testing, let me crank up the direction light to 1 and light color to something bright. So here the spawner which we added, what I will do, I will right click, play the game. Let me check if we have a spawner. The spawner is gone, so they are destroyed. But the character, let me check. Okay, we do have both the things attached. We have gun, we do have it in our hand. We also have this torch, so our code is working, but we have to do the fix, like first, because in our spawner, if you will see, nothing is visible, right? We have to actually have some visuals. Okay, this is the gun and this is the torch. So we will fix this in the next tutorial. It is already 27. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.